I was a runaway and I was living life like who? Like what? Like the motherfucking Lost Boys. Hey friends, it's nice to see you here. A lot of you guys are watching from TikTok. If you aren't, go follow my TikTok at Wallahalaga. Oh, what is that on my face? At Wallahalaga, and go follow my Instagram at Wallahalaga. So today we'll be starting with what is a lost boy? What does living life like the Lost Boys mean to me? Well, in order to understand that, you have to know what a lost boy is. And a lost boy, people often think that when say I'm living life like the Lost Boys, that I'm referencing this movie about these white teenage boys. They're vampires and they like run through the city or whatever, killing kids and all this crazy shit. Nah, that's not what the fuck I'm talking about. When I say Lost Boys, I'm talking about Peter Pan Lost Boys. I'm talking about Tinkerbell Lost Boys. I'm talking about Neverland Lost Boys. I picked that name specifically because of the concept of Neverland and the concept of the Lost Boys. The Lost Boys don't ever age. They don't grow up because they are stuck in Neverland. If they escape Neverland, they'll grow up. But they don't. They stay in Neverland and they stay kids. They don't have guidance. They don't have parents. They don't have rules. And that's how I was living, y'all. And mind y'all, to hear me when I say this, was. Okay? I'm not a lost boy anymore. Lost Boys are age regressed. Lost Boys are lost. And I'm not lost. But at one point in time, I very much was. Another part of the whole living life like the Lost Boys thing is, well, I ran away so much, you guys, that like my whole entire, I want to say like right after preteen stage and teenagehood, I was on my own. I would come home for a couple of days to a couple of weeks, if that, and then I'd be gone again. And so I was living life with no guidance, no rules, and no parents. I was left to navigate things on my own. Being said, let's talk about when I realized I didn't have a normal childhood. A lot of people would probably think that with all the essay I endured, that one of those moments would be the moment that I realized that I didn't have a regular childhood, but it wasn't. I realized I didn't have a regular childhood watching my mama and my daddy fight. My daddy would choke my mama out. My mama was a fighter though. She was a fighter though. But my daddy would choke my mama out and my mama would fight back and I'd hop in the middle of the motherfucking fights. You better get your hands off my motherfucking mama, nigga. And all that. So yeah, I would say that that's when I realized that I didn't have a regular childhood. That I knew that a lot of my friends didn't have to go home and do that. I knew that the adrenaline that I felt in those moments weren't regular. And then not only that, my mama would get mad at me for jumping in them fights. I mean, bitch, yeah, that's my daddy, but what are you putting like I don't have no choice. What do you mean? The fuck? And I knew that wasn't normal. And it didn't feel right and it didn't feel normal. So yeah, that I would say that was, or those moments all together were the moments that made me realize that I didn't have a normal childhood. So what is a normal childhood? A normal childhood, in my opinion, is a childhood where you're allowed to be a child, where your innocence is where it's supposed to be. It's still intact. You get to have your imagination. You get to create. That's what a normal childhood looks like to me. You have loving parents who make sure that you do what you're supposed to do, who make sure that you go to school clean, fed, who affirm you, who give you affirmations. Like, that's a normal childhood to me. So, yeah. I definitely didn't have that. The craziest part about those moments being the moments that made me realize that my childhood wasn't regular is probably the fact that, like, when I remember it, I remember the realization, right? But as I was growing up and as I was getting older or whatever, I never looked at that as trauma, bitch. That wasn't trauma to me. Like, I never put that on like a pedestal in my brain. Like, it was just, that was the life I lived. Like, it just was what it was. You know what I'm saying? But when I look back and I think about the moment when I said, it was that moment. And let me tell y'all something. That is definitely trauma, okay? Just because you may have trauma here and I'm not even gonna say on this level because there is no hierarchy of trauma. Okay, people deal with trauma here, there, whatever, everywhere, bitch. But just because you have trauma that's egregious, right, crazy, horrific, doesn't mean that the trauma that was just a little less horrific doesn't matter, or that it doesn't affect you, that it doesn't affect you. I need y'all to remember this because, bitch, it's some shit that's gonna pop up later on down the line in your healing journey, and you gonna be like, what the fuck? You gonna think you making up problems for yourself, bitch. No, these things really affected you, and you really have to work through them. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to. Sorry, go to war, ho. Now, when did I become a lost boy? Strap your boots up, bitch. Put your seatbelt on, because you're in for a wild ride. Trigger warning. Y'all, I don't know. I might do that different. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. That's the one. When I was 9 years old, I was brutally raped by a teenage boy that had lived with us at the time. When I told my mama, we were watching a movie and something had popped up and they said sex, and I realized what it was, and I told my mama, like, I had sex before. My mama, my aunties, my grandmama, bitch, they went up. They tore the motherfucking house up. They was livid, bitch. And because of that, it scared me. I thought I was in trouble, and I didn't tell them the full truth. I only told them the half truth. Almost as if 9-year-old Taylor felt some type of guilt or shame and blame for what had been done, and I did. Simply because I didn't fight him off. I didn't say no. I said yeah. I agreed. This is my rationale, right, at 9 years old. But the reason why I say that this was the moment that I became a lost boy is because I was left to navigate my trauma on my own. In that moment, I ran away, right? And I'm not saying that that was a right or wrong thing to do because, bitch, I was 9 years old. Bitch, a trauma response is a trauma response, whatever. But fight, flight, or freeze. I motherfucking took flight, bitch. And because I chose to take flight, I had to figure it out. I had to navigate it on my own. I no longer had the guidance. I no longer had the words. I no longer had anybody to tell me what the fuck to do, how the fuck to go, or how the fuck to move. Yeah, I would say that that was the moment that I became a lost boy. From that point on, it was me, myself, and I. And oh my God, bitch, did I give myself a run for my motherfucking money. But anyway, bitch, if y'all see me pick up my handy dandy iPad, it's because I got some notes in here. I be trying to get all my information out, bitch, and my mind be racing. It be going crazy, be going sideways. So yeah, hold please. Commercial break. Hi friends, you guys have been watching for a minute now. This is very sensitive and triggering content. So please, if you will, take you a 5-minute break, go get you some water, get you some snacks, bitch, roll you a blunt, I don't know, get your shit, and tell yourself you are worth it. All right, bye. We will resume after this break. All right, bye. We will resume now. Hey friends, we're back. I hope you got your water. I hope you got your snack. But anyway, imagine blaming God and expecting something out of God that you should be expecting out of your mama and out of your daddy. Okay. It was something that I left out earlier. It might have been on purpose. It might not have been. But when I was 9 years old and those incidents were going on, they would happen on Bible study nights on Thursdays when the preacher would be downstairs, his wife, my mama, my granny, everybody would be downstairs praising God, their friends, while I was upstairs getting raped. So this created a beef between me and God. Not between me and my mama and not between me and my daddy. Now, I will say, subconsciously, me and my daddy beefed hard. I hated that nigga. We'll get into it later. But I hated that nigga. Nigga, the fuck, you didn't protect me? The fuck? Hated that nigga, right? Subconsciously, though, because it was never here. My mama, she always got grace. We'll get into that later, too. But she was never anywhere in my mind as far as blame or anger or any of those things go. But do you know who was here? Who pissed me off? Who was right here? God, bitch. God, how could you? Father, you supposed to be watching over me. How, why? Right? And I had this question and I held this question for so fucking long. so long. I didn't have an answer for so long. I would ask people and they would be like, "Oh, well, that's a question that's between you and God." You know what I'm saying? Or something vague, but I could that's a question that I could never get an answer to. And y'all, I answered it. I got older and I answered my own motherfucking question. I was conditioned to believe that this spiritual being was supposed to watch over me and protect me, right? So I went my childhood pissed off at this spiritual being, right? Navigating all this anger and all these questions towards this spiritual being. When in reality, what about the fucking flesh, bitch? What about the flesh? In the flesh, right? I was supposed to be mad at my mama and my motherfucking daddy, right? The people who were responsible for making sure that I was protected and the people that were responsible for making sure that I was safe. That's who I should have been mad at. I should have been mad at the fact that I was left upstairs with a teenage boy who wanted to do whatever who wanted to do whatever he wanted to do to me. That's what I should have been mad at. But instead, I'm placing the blame on God and I'm mad at God. You not my daddy no more. That's what I'm doing to God. Once again, a lost boy moment, navigating it on my own, figuring out my trauma on my own, figuring out who to blame, coming up with questions and trying to target who I see fit, right? And that was who I chose. that was a lot of wasted time. It was. And I'm not saying that I wasn't rightfully angry. I was rightfully angry, but it was some different conversations that should have been going on, right? Right. All right, friends, so that's it for today. This will be my shortest video. I'm just getting acquainted, getting comfortable, filling it out. Something that I want you guys to know throughout all of this too is that your girl is very intentional and mindful about when I revisit the past, okay? So I'm good. Know that. Okay, I'll be good, and I'll tell y'all if I'm not good. But once upon a time, I used to not be mindful, and I used to let it catch up, and I used to let it grab me by my motherfucking neck, bitch, and choke me the fuck out, bitch. That she used to be, whoo, but now I don't. Okay, I make sure that I choose when I want to go back to the past. I make sure that I choose when I want to examine the things that I've gone through in my life. So, like I said, your girl is good, and I will make sure I let you guys know if I'm not. So yeah, friends, I love y'all. To close out this video, I'll be doing this every video. Let's go to Tay's Declassified Trauma Survival Guide. You will only get this if you are early 2000s baby and you watch Nickelodeon. Bye. All right, friends, you have clearly reached the end of this video. If you are still here, you is a real ass bitch. You my bitch, period. And you about your motherfucking shit. All right, but anyways, this is Tay's Declassified Trauma Survival Guide, where we will just be going over a few key points, notes from the video for you to take home, boo. I will be reading them off my handy dandy iPad. Sorry, my thoughts, bitch, they gotta be aligned. Ho, they mine. You can't see my fucked up handwriting, but let's get into it. Number 1, if you never grow, you'll be stuck in Neverland where shit never happens. I need y'all to remember that the Lost Boys are age regressed, okay? So you're going to see the transition, but remember that the Lost Boys are age regressed. Number 2, when you think of the term runaway, don't limit it to the physical because, bitch, we run away in all different types of ways, okay? Ways that will shock you. So keep your mind open. Always stay open-minded anyway. Keep that mind open. 3, watch your kids at all time, or the kids around you, period. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. Watch the kids around, period. You need to keep your eyes open, okay? We got. Keep your eyes open. Be the change. Be the change that we need to see. Number 4, if a kid confides in you, you cannot react. You cannot show emotion immediately. You just need to hear them out and make them feel comforted because it can hinder their truth, okay? Number 5, the last one, regardless of if you're religious or deconstructing, the truth, bitch, it stays the same. There are people in the flesh who have hurt you. I'm not going to say God didn't, but you deserve the validation of knowing that what happened to you is real, undeserved, and never your fault. We deserve a place where our pain is acknowledged and not spiritualized or minimalized or blamed on faith. Bitch, I didn't sign up to be nobody's. Bitch, I didn't sign up to be Nan. Bitch, strongest soldier, okay? We deserve to heal in a way that honors our truth and not the version of truth that makes other people comfortable, okay? Bitch, fuck making other people comfortable when it comes down to your truth, to your trauma, to your healing, bitch. Fuck that. The fuck, what makes you comfortable? What's gonna bring you peace? What's gonna make you want to settle down, relax, and kick your feet up, bitch, and watch your movies in glory? What's gonna do that? Because whatever it is, I need you to figure it the fuck out, bitch, and do it. I will have a set schedule that I will be dropping episodes, but as of right now, I don't. Episode 2 will be out soon, though. Love you, bitches. Bye.